Hey guys, welcome to my channel, The Idea Machine Marketing Basics. Today we are going to go over chapter 2.4, Joint Ventures, Cooperatives, Franchisees, and Social Enterprises. As we start the chapter, remember that every interaction in any form is considered as branding, as said by Seth Godin. To quickly talk about cooperatives, essentially these are very common in the agriculture and retail sectors because these are member led organizations. They feature a lot of characteristics such as shared decision making, equal voting rights, and profit sharing among all of the members. We'll keep the agriculture reference in mind and go through some pros and cons of cooperatives. The pros of cooperatives is that it enables bulk purchasings from larger markets, which essentially means that if you're a part of a cooperative, you can get your equipment and fertilizer, everything sourced from larger markets at a cheaper rate. It supports collective problem solving for all of the members, which means that if you've had a rough month or if the weather doesn't support, you can sit with a panel of experienced members and understand how to solve it. It motivates members to grow via shared profits, which essentially means that everyone who's a part of the cooperative will profit together. So that helps you kind of think in a way where loss is minimized. What are some cons of cooperatives? It might lack management skills without professional managers. What I mean by that is that when cooperatives are essentially formed by multiple companies or multiple people together, which means that there might be the lack in having one leader while they are in unison, but lacking a leader essentially lacks the vision where they want to grow. Potential capital shortage due to limited share sales, as simple as it sounds, that growing capital might be difficult as a cooperative, and slower decision making because every member has to be on board to make a decision. It can't be just done by one person. We'll move over to franchises now. We'll take our favorite example, McDonald's, from all of our previous videos. Franchises enable franchisees to use their name, logo, and marketing methods, which helps set an established runway for anyone making a sizable investment. Just so you know, franchises are not cheap. If you want to get even a McDonald's franchise in this case, for example, it's extremely difficult and requires a lot of things for you to take before you can actually start a McDonald's by yourself. What are some pros of franchises? Reduced risk of failure due to established brand. I mean, imagine starting a McDonald's in your area. Do you think it's not going to work? Again, because McDonald's is such a huge established brand. Franchisor provides advice and training. So McDonald's has their own guidelines and training methods for all of its members, managers, and employees alike. National advertising, which is covered by the franchisor. So let's say that there is a big item coming up, or for example, the Grand Maharaja Mac is the main thing for the month. So McDonald's will do a main commercial which will run on all of the mainstream TV channels, outdoor, print, and radio. This will give franchisees a lot of exposure and a lot of foot traffic after looking at that commercial, and that cost will be completely covered by corporate. Quality check supplies from established suppliers. Bigger suppliers like a Cisco, for example, will essentially deliver all of the goods to McDonald's. It's all centralized. You don't have to go looking around for suppliers for all of your goods. And exclusivity in local area, which is ensured by franchisors. So for what that means is if your McDonald's is at Thane Station, for example, there won't be one closer into that vicinity, and the next one would directly be at Majewada, which is substantially farther from the station franchisee. What are some cons of franchises is that the share of profits and revenue paid to the franchisor annually, which essentially means that if your store is working hard, a part of that profit will also go to the larger corporate. High initial franchise license fee. Like I said at the beginning, getting a McDonald's franchisee is not easy, and it requires a lot of money, investment, and community status as well to get that franchisee in place. Local promotions may still be at franchisee's expense. So let's say you're doing a store event, particularly for any festival, Diwali, Christmas, New Year's, for example, any of the store decorations or the training would be on the franchisee lead and not on the corporation. Limited choice in suppliers. So while they get all good quality materials from a big supplier like Cisco, there might be someone else who might be ready to supply it for cheaper, but they cannot get it from them because McDonald's doesn't permit you or it's not under regulation. And strict rules on pricing and outlet layout reduces franchisees' control over business, which essentially means that the corporate McDonald's would always be in charge of, or rather have to be on board with every decision that a franchisee owner makes, which limits essentially anything that a franchisee owner might want to do with pricing or want to play around with the items. To quickly go over joint ventures and social enterprises, we'll cover them together. Joint ventures are essentially a collaboration between two or more businesses on a project or on a service. It's very similar to a partnership, but this can be very, very limited to just doing one activity together. We'll go over pros, cons, and an example as well. So, some pros are that the risks are shared between both the players. Complementary strengths allow you to grow farther, and it allows you to tap into diverse markets. Some cons, however, are that there might be cultural differences between both the companies collaborating, and one failure might jeopardize the entire project. A very good example of a joint venture is a BMW and Brilliance Auto Group alliance. This was established when China mandated that manufacturing in their country or any product sold in their country has to be at least 50% Chinese owned, and therefore BMW did a joint venture with Brilliance Auto Group and launched their product in China, where Brilliance Auto Group takes 50% of the manufacturing on their end. To quickly go over social enterprises, these are a different type of businesses which try to aim to make profit in a very socially responsible way. The pros is that they benefit society and that they can retain profit while doing so, unlike an NGO. Whereas a con is that they cannot be fully profit led, and social values have to be determined in order to establish this business. A good example is Childline Program, which is essentially an Indian program which renders financial healthcare and police assistance to abandoned and vulnerable families across India. The focus in this is always that the social value of driving support to these abandoned and vulnerable families is the crucial part, and driving profit will always be secondary. Thank you so much for watching, and do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also, don't forget to check us out on Instagram and TikTok at IdeaMachine09. Thank you so much, everyone.